Hey, you guys, it's time for a Queen Elizabeth video tonight. I found a little 20-page color, like a middle insert in the People magazine that we may enjoy. It's somewhat historical for me, and that's where my interest lies. And plus a few little similarities I see with my life, the path my life took, and the path Queen's life took, both at a very young age of 21. It's been very interesting to see the changing of the guard, so to speak. You know, I've never seen that in my lifetime. Like I said, it's very interesting. And in honor of today's video, I switched my coffee cup to a teacup. Still drinking coffee though, not ready for tea yet. The life and death of Queen Elizabeth II, 1926 to 2022. And I know we've seen all the pictures, but I'd like to read the little information blurbs they've got in here by each picture. The whole 20-some pages could be somewhat boring, but I'm going to read the highlights. It says, after the rain, R-A-I-N, a rainbow, which one Twitter user called the Queen's final goodbye to her people, appeared over Windsor Castle just as the palace announced her death on September 8th. Thousands of bouquets and sentimental mementos piled up outside Buckingham Palace on September 10th, and a picture was taken and her other royal residences. We've seen the rainbow, and we've seen bouquets. And down here below, on castles, it says, it's a little hard to read. Let me get some extra light on that. Operation London Bridge. Per the code named plan for Elizabeth's funeral, drafted in the 1960s, her coffin is lying in state in Westminster Hall, open to the public 24 hours a day before September 19th funeral. The funeral will be held at Westminster Abbey. Her final resting place is Windsor Castle, St. George's Chapel, beside her parents, her sister, and her husband. So that's what all these different pictures were at the bottom. So she's had the plan made since the 1960s. And then here, I have the journey, solemn journey. Archers flanked the hearse carrying the Queen's coffin to St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, as her children, King Charles III, Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and Prince Edward, followed. And we see the brothers together again. I guess they were in a fight. united in grief despite a strained relationship between the brothers. Amid Harry and Meghan's move to the U.S., William extended olive branch to Harry 2 days before they lost their grandmother, inviting the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to accompany him and Catherine to greet the crowds outside Windsor Castle. William thought it was an important show of unity at an incredibly difficult time for the family, says a royal source, and adds an insider they did it for harmony because of the Queen, observes a family friend. It was a very genuine invitation and well acted upon by Harry, and it was a gesture of leadership. Then, together again, the foursome spent 40 minutes shaking hands and chatting with well-wishers in Windsor, September 10th, before leaving together in a car driven by William. Seeing the couples together was lovely, said Elaine G., age 62, who was in the crowd. Let's hope it puts an end to the bad doings and they can move on. No. Family destiny. Confident, even at age of 9, Elizabeth shook a guard's hand before attending a military event in 1953. And in 1938, with her younger sister, Princess Margaret, parents King George VI and Queen Elizabeth. A unit her father affectionately called We Four. After her father unexpectedly took the throne, when she was 10, Elizabeth at Windsor Castle in 1940 grew up very fast, a friend recalled. And a pensive Elizabeth in 1946, a year before marrying Philip. Right there. And then wartime service. When Britain declared war on Germany in 1939, 13-year-old Princess knit socks for soldiers and gave pocket money to the Red Cross to aid the country's effort. Later, at age 18, she joined the Women's Auxiliary Territorial Service as a military truck mechanic and driver, but she wasn't allowed to stay at the base. Instead, she was chauffeured back to Buckingham Palace each night. Wedding day. November 20th, 1947, Elizabeth, age 21, and Philip, age 26, at Westminster Abbey. She thought life would never be dull with him, says historian Robert Lacey. Bridesmaid Lady Pamela Hicks previously said, I can think of a few couples who are as united. Being Granny, I knew this day would come, but it will be some time before the reality of life without Granny will truly feel safe. William wrote after her death. And there she is with the grandkids. I guess they called her Granny, or he called her Granny. Queen Mom, New Generation, and New Generation and Family Life. Queen Mom, she was a pioneer. Royal biographer Sally Bedell Smith says of the Queen, nobody among her cohort was a working mother. She was a working mother to the end. That picture right there. And Family Life, she loved being an ordinary mother, says Samantha Cohen, the Queen's former assistant private secretary. She would muck in and set the table. Everybody would have their family roles as opposed to their formal roles. Oh, that's nice. And down here, the New Generation, the birth of the Queen's first biracial grandchild, Archie, who was monumental, said Tessie Oho of the Diana Ward. The meeting was monumental. It was the grandparents' meeting. Harry's mom, the Queen, and Meghan's mom, and of course Prince Philip. That's nice. Century of style. That's another thing about the Queen I love. Queen Elizabeth's colorful wardrobe was very deliberate. She needs to stand out for people to be able to say, I saw the Queen. Her daughter-in-law Sophie, Countess of Wessex, said in a 2016 documentary, The Queen at age 90, don't forget that when she turns up somewhere, the crowds are 2, 3, 4, 10, 15 people deep, and someone wants to be able to say, I saw a bit of the Queen's hat as she went past. That's cute. And here she is. I can never wear beige because nobody will know who I am, said Queen Elizabeth. And navigating turbulent times. Diana's death. Criticized for days of public silence while her people grieved for Princess Diana, the Queen finally, on September 5th, 1997, gave a rare televised speech. Speaking, she said, as your Queen and as a grandmother, it was tactic acknowledgement. It was an acknowledgement that Diana, whom she eulogized as exceptional and gifted, had rewritten old royal protocols for Stoicism. Before then, says a royal source, the Queen thought keeping quiet was always best. Family disgrace. Royal watchers have long called Prince Andrew the Queen's favorite son, but in keeping with her country-first ethic, she stripped him of his military titles and patronages in 2022 after he had stepped down as a working royal in 2019. Still, it was Andrew who denies wrongdoing, escorting his mother to a March memorial for Philip. She loves and believes her son. Royal commentator Robert Jobson previously said, that's right, remember that debacle with that guy. Royal divorce. The Queen did not approve of divorce until her sons Andrew and Charles ended their marriages in 1996. Andrew's wife, Sarah Ferguson, later recalled, when I met with Her Majesty about it, she asked, what do you require? And I said, your friendship, which I think amazed her. Oh, this is the saddest picture I have ingrained in my memory forever. Queen alone, grieving for her husband in the church. Solitary sorrow, laying her husband Prince Philip to rest in April 2021 when COVID-19 rules fully enforced. She sat alone in the pew of St. George's Chapel during the family-only funeral service. Her 73-year marriage to the man she called my strength and stay. Oh my goodness. I'll forever remember that picture. And here we have sort of photos. The Queen and her Paddington Bear sketch. She did Platinum Jubilee in June. Showing her sense of humor. In 2012, she delighted the crowd at the Olympics, appearing in a James Bond themed skit with Daniel Craig. Oh, that's kind of funny. That would be a good skit. Bless her heart. And then ending with her likeness parachuting from a helicopter onto London's Olympic Stadium. That's funny. I have to look that one up. In 2014, the monarch visited the set of HBO Game of Thrones, but declined to test the show's sword-covered seat of power. Oh, there she is. Okay. And she played along to promote Harry's Invictus Games in 2016. Please, she said with a shrug after watching a video from Michelle and Barack Obama mock boasting about the U.S. team, while her grandson stifled a laugh and mimed a mic drop. That's kind of funny. And there she is with the Paddington Bear skit. I'm gonna look and see if I can find the James Bond skit. I think I missed that one. And all the Queen's animals. At age 4, Elizabeth was given a Shetland pony. Then, when she was 7, her father, King George VI, brought home a corgi, named him Dookie, or Dokie. Maybe it was Dokie, like Okie Dokie. Over the years, she owned dozens of corgis and hundreds of horses, which she rode well into her 90s. Yeah, it is real nice. I'm sure you've seen the one of her riding a horse with President Reagan. On her lasting legacy, the Queen was determined that her heirs be prepared to take the reins. In her final years, she, Charles, and William would operate together, says royal historian Robert Lacey, thereby guiding the future of the monarchy. Very interesting. Camilla, Charles, and Mom. I would hope that he was able to call her Mom or Mum. I'm sure he did. And then Louis, Catherine, Charlotte, George. Wow. Mm-hmm. So, and then we have, she was fully embodied in her queenship and charming the powerful, with an understated warmth, faultless diplomacy, and a well-placed Quip. Elizabeth forged bonds with dozens of world leaders, including 13 sitting U.S. presidents, Winston Churchill, upon her 1953 coronation, called her a lady whom we respect because she is our queen, and whom we love because she is herself. Oh, that's nice. Right there. And then President Obama, President Bush, and oops. No, that's not president. That's Nelson Mandela. Brain freeze. Right there. There he is. Ronald Reagan. At the Ronald Reagan Library, just here in Ventura County. And then 73 years in the making, born to take over for his mother, whom he had a sometimes strained relationship with, Charles used his first address as monarch to assure the public that he would serve them as she did, with unswerving devotion, respect, and love. Yeah, I think we remember that. Oh, it's lovely. Okay. Grieving son and king. Just hours before his private bedside farewell to his beloved mother, King Charles III pivoted straight into the balancing act that is now his for the rest of his life, tending his family while leading a kingdom. It's the movement I've been dreading, the new king, speaking of his mother's death, said to new Prime Minister Liz Truss, but we'll try and keep everything going. With that, the longest serving and not always popular heir apparent in British history was off to a promising start in the eyes of close observers. He's had time to prepare, and he's used it exceptionally well, says a source close to the royal household. Among mourners in Windsor, Dr. Simone Bay said, the transition period has shown a warmth and an unerring solidarity in Charles. Maybe he will be Charles the Gentle. I'm very impressed. We shall see, right? Oh. There are some disadvantages to crowns, but otherwise they are quite important things, said Queen Elizabeth. Look at that crown. Look at all these crowns. The head that wore the crown, so heavy was the jewel-encrusted crown the queen wore at her coronation. She later revealed she hadn't been able to lower her head to read her speech. If you did, your neck would break, she told the BBC in 2018. As for the woman beneath the sparkling adornment, that was gin and water was used to clean it, the queen is entirely disinterested in jewelry as a person. Trusted aide Major General Alistair Bruce said in 2018, jewelry is one of the elements that helped her deliver the fact that she is queen to the people. She comes in contact with them, and these symbols are seen by her as part of her job. And then in her final duty, we have a picture as she awaited Prime Minister Truss at Balmoral Castle on September 6th. The Queen was very smiley, and she was in good spirits, says photographer Jane Barlow. Oh, well, we all saw that. Oh, I think we're ending the insert. What does it say? At least Granny is with great-grandpa now, said Prince Louis at age 4. There she is with her sweetheart. Where's this picture? Hmm.